We're live from New Delhi. You're watching DD India News, India's voice to the world. I'm Lipakshi Khurana. Coming up in the next hour. India declares Pak High Commission staffer persona non grata over his activities outside official role, asked to leave India within 24 hours. Life limping back to normal in border towns of India. Nationwide Tiranga Yatra to mark the success of Operation Sindoor. US President Trump plans to lift long-standing sanctions on Syria, also agrees to sell Saudi Arabia an arms package worth nearly $142 billion during his visit to the Gulf. Ukraine's President Zelenskyy vows to attend talks with Russia this week only in the presence of Putin. Trump says US Secretary of State Rubio will also be present at the crucial meet. India shines at Cannes 2025, bringing a timeless Indian storytelling back to the world stage. A restored version of a Satyajit Ray classic, Arunachal Din Ratri, to be showcased. Rajasthani film Omlu to make international debut. And on to the details now. The government of India has declared a Pakistani official working at the Pakistan High Commission in New Delhi persona non grata for indulging in activities not in keeping with his official status in India. The official has been asked to leave India within 24 hours. Charity Affairs, the Pakistan High Commission, was issued a démarche to this effect on Tuesday. And by integrating electronic warfare, sensors, satellites and state-of-the-art intelligence in Operation Sindoor, India has set new standards in modern warfare. This report has more details.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi addressed troops at the Adampur Air Base in North Indian border state of Punjab on Tuesday. Behind him is the S-400 missile system, a UAV and missile-repelling defense system installed at the base in Adampur, which Pakistan claimed to have bombed. The Prime Minister's visit not only exposed Pakistan's lies, it also reflected the standards set by Indian capabilities in the new age tactical and high-tech warfare. Launched on May 7 in retaliation to Pakistan-sponsored terror attack in Pahalgam, Operation Sindoor has showcased India's strides in technology when it came to both kinetic and non-kinetic means. While kinetic means involves using direct physical force and traditional military weapons, non-kinetic means engages cyber warfare and sanctions. The operation is an integration of electronic warfare, sensors, satellites, and state-of-the-art intelligence and surveillance, and above all, its indigenously developed technology. The Akash surface-to-air missile defense system has proven its efficacy in intercepting Pakistani missile and repelling attacks by drone swarms on India. With a real-time multi-sensor data processing and threat assessment, Akash can intercept multiple threats simultaneously. The D4 anti-drone system is instrumental in detecting, tracking, and neutralizing drones. A 3D surveillance radar, Rohini, monitors airspace for the Indian Air Force, while Swati is designed to accurately detect the location of enemy weapons. The Samyukta electronic warfare system disrupts enemy radars, communication network, or missiles from receiving accurate information about their targets. Nagastra 1, the country's first indigenous suicide drone, which uses GPS for precision strikes. Developed by an India-Russia joint venture, the BrahMos missile was used by the Indian Air Force to carry out precision strikes on Pakistani air bases. Indian offensives also put on display technological capabilities by integrating foreign-made smart ammunitions and stealth bombs on its indigenous platforms and launching precise strikes on adversaries and cross-border terror hubs. India-made ammunitions were also deployed to target hardened structures, including reinforced bunkers and multi storied buildings, utilized as training and logistical centers by the Lashkar-e-Toiba and Jaish-e-Mohammed. India also launched long range stealth ammunitions from platforms to target Pakistani air defense systems and radar sites. 10 satellites operated by the Indian Space Research Organization or ISRO worked round the clock to provide the Indian armed forces with real time intelligence, secure communications, and precision navigation. High resolution Earth observation systems like the Cartosat and RISAT series delivered continuous surveillance across terrain, borders, and hostile airspace. RISAT's all weather synthetic aperture radar capabilities were particularly crucial in cloud covered regions and mountainous terrains. While the defense forces were at the forefront, decimating enemy and terror hubs in the digital domain, the Press Information Bureau has been at the forefront of tackling misinformation on the social media and cyberspace. Bureau Report, DD India.
Well, how could India hit 13 targets, including 8 air bases, so precisely inside various strategic locations in Pakistan so precisely? How did Pakistan fail so miserably? These questions have rattled experts across the world. Today, we decode the mystery for you here at DD India. On the intervening night of 9th and 10th of May, when Pakistan unleashed its deadliest attack against Indian military and civilian areas with missiles and drones, they were challenged by the impenetrable, the Iron Dome, the Indian wall of self-defense, Akashteer. It was Akashteer which stopped all Pakistani inbound airborne drones, missiles, other micro UAVs and other loitering munitions and prevented them from entering the Indian airspace. Akashteer is probably the first operational AI war cloud built entirely without any foreign components or satellite dependencies. It successfully provided common real-time target interception, tracked and indulged in drone warfare. It integrates various radar systems, sensors and communication technologies into a single operational framework. Akashteer is part of the broader C4ISR, that is Command, Control, Communication, Computers, Intelligence, Surveillance and Reconnaissance framework, working in coordination with other systems like ISRO satellites and NAVIC GPS. Akashteer's brilliance lies not in brute force but in intelligence warfare. Traditional models of air defense rely heavily on ground-based radars, human-monitored systems and surface-to-air missile batteries triggered by command chains. Akashteer breaks that mold. Its technology allows for monitoring of low-level airspace in battle areas and efficient control of ground-based air defense weapon systems. Akashteer is capable of intercepting and neutralizing hostile UAVs without detection using no active radar signatures. Reports indicate that during last Sunday night engagements, the drone attack coordinated by Akashteer entered sensitive command zones undetected, leaving Pakistan's US-supplied AWACS and ground radar systems paralyzed. Well, Akashteer adds a new chapter to our strategic doctrine, indicating a shift from defensive posturing to proactive retaliation against terror threats. Akashteer's presence in our military assets exudes confidence that it gives a clear edge over terror-sponsoring state Pakistan's air defense capabilities. Experts across the world are now terming Akashteer as a seismic shift in warfare strategy. With this, India has emerged as the first non-Western nation to successfully integrate its autonomous drone swarms, indigenous satellite surveillance and AI battlefield coordination into a single real-time combat platform, Akashteer. In one line, Akashteer has demonstrated that it sees, decides and strikes faster than anything in the world has fielded. Unlike conventional systems, Akashteer functions autonomously with drones capable of altering flight paths, selecting targets and coordinating strikes without operator input. The most disruptive elements of Akashteer is its combat AI. It absorbs data from multiple fields, weather, terrain, radar intercepts, and makes real-time decisions, reroutes missions, and executes attacks autonomously, beating even NATO's current battlefield AI loops. While the system is vehicle-based, which makes it mobile and easier to handle in hostile environment, the sensors integrated include 3D tactical radars, low-level lightweight radars, and the Akash weapons system. This is beyond anything we've seen before, said many Pakistani defense experts, which is equivocally echoed by many across the globe. And in a nationwide significant outreach effort, the 11-day-long Tiranga Yatra began across the country on Tuesday. The Yatra honors the courage and sacrifice of India's armed forces, particularly in light of the recently concluded and successful Operation Sindoor. Well, Odisha's Chief Minister Mohan Charan Bagchi flagged off the bike rally under Tiranga Yatra in Bhubaneswar to honor the Indian Armed Forces. Riding motorcycles with the national flag, participants paid homage and showed solidarity to the armed forces. The event showcased Odisha's commitment to supporting and recognizing the sacrifices made by the nation's defense services. Uttarakhand's Chief Minister Pushkar Singh Dhami led the Tiranga Shaurya Samman Yatra in Dehradun this morning. With the Tiranga Yatra, which will conclude on May 23rd, it is expected to help foster a deeper connection between citizens and the armed forces, reinforcing the Modi government's message of decisive leadership and national security. In Lucknow, city of Uttar Pradesh, Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath participated in the Bharat Shaurya Tiranga Yatra. The rally was marked by energetic chants and a sea of waving national flags. Addressing a gathering at the event, the CM praised the bravery of the Indian Armed Forces, saying the operation sent a clear message to the world that we do not provoke anyone, but if provoked, we will not spare anyone. In a sharp warning to Pakistan, Chief Minister Yogi said terrorism will eventually engulf Pakistan itself. Also, the campaign kicked off in Delhi with a symbolic march featuring a 108-foot-tall national flag. The yatra commenced from Kartavya Path to National War Memorial, drawing participation from the Chief Minister of Delhi, cabinet ministers, eminent personalities and citizens from all walks of life united in their salute to the nation's brave hearts. Joining them with great enthusiasm were Delhiites, school and college students, along with NSS volunteers and NCC cadets who proudly took part in the Tiranga Yatra, celebrating the spirit of patriotism. And for more on the Yatra, we have Kriti Vadhera joining us from New Delhi. Well, Kriti, yesterday the Tiranga Yatra was started honoring basically the courage and sacrifice of the India's armed forces. Tell us more.
Well, good morning, Lepakshi. And yes, you rightly said, yesterday evening, if I just recall, the view itself was just electrifying on the roads of National Capital Region, where we saw this huge, massive Tiranga Yatra, the Shaurya Samman Yatra in Hindi, what we are saying, which actually means to brave, it's an honor to the brave soldiers of India. And yesterday it was held from Kartavya Path till India Gate National War Memorial, where thousands and thousands of Delhiites from all walks of life and all spheres of the society were participated in this Tiranga Yatra, which was led by the Chief Minister of Delhi and her cabinet ministers. And the most overwhelming part of this yatra was to witness and see the young India. With young India, I just don't mean the young professionals and the youth of the nation, but at the same time, school-going children were also part of this Tiranga rally. NSS volunteers and NCC cadets, their chants, their spirit, their enthusiasm, and the way they were holding tricolor high on their shoulders, that was totally overwhelming to see on the roads of national capital yesterday evening. And to bring it here, that this Tiranga Yatra is not just a symbolism. It goes beyond just being a symbolic yatra. It's actually a testament to the resolve, to the collective resolve of all the Indians in this Operation Sindoor,
Right.
what we have seen. And the young India which is on ground for this Tiranga Yatra is the face of the new India. The new India which is proud, the new India which is stable, and the
Right.
new India which is actually united with this Operation Sindoor.
Yes, I'm sure high enthusiasm there. Thank you so much, Kriti, for all those details. Meanwhile, life in the border districts of Jammu and Kashmir, Rajasthan, Punjab and Gujarat witnessed a gradual return to normalcy. Explosions have stopped, drone sightings have ceased, no more blackouts, markets teemed with people. Across Kashmir Valley, markets opened and traffic returned to its normal level with no shelling being reported. People in Punjab's border areas feel relieved as tensions ease. Markets are opening and locals hope for peace to continue. Well, the administrations of all the 6 border districts have asked people to resume their normal activities and maintain calm. However, the district authorities have also requested people not to burst firecrackers or fly drones. Also, life goes back to normal as schools reopen in Udhampur district of Jammu and Kashmir. Students say that now everything is under control and they can very well focus on their studies. They thanked the Indian Army for keeping them safe and ensuring everything is back to normal. Also, the second batch of Hajj pilgrims embarked on the sacred pilgrimage to the holy city of Mecca in Saudi Arabia after the flight services resumed at Srinagar International Airport from May 13th, 6 days after the airport was shut down due to escalating tensions between India and Pakistan. Well, the first batch of 178 pilgrims from Jammu and Kashmir left for Saudi Arabia on 4th of May for the annual Hajj 2025 pilgrimage to Mecca and Medina cities of Saudi Arabia. Since then, no flights could operate. And for more, we have Vishal Baristo joining us from Srinagar and Ankush joining us from Jammu. Well, Vishal, my first question to you, what's the update from there? How is the situation now with things going back to normal?
Well, a very good morning to you, Lipakshi. It's been 2 days now. The schools have reopened in the valley and also the flights have resumed. You already informed the viewers that the first flight carrying pilgrims to Mecca has already left. So let me tell you that the markets are open here. I will ask my cameraman to first show you. This is Lal Chowk, the epicenter of Srinagar, the identity of Srinagar and the lifeline of Srinagar. So there you see traffic on the roads, shops open. So all seems to be normal, and in a short while from now we'll be having Tiranga Yatra that started off from Rajasthan and it would be reaching here in Srinagar, here at Lal Chowk. The Yatra belongs to and is organized by the Rashtriya Muslim Manch. Tomorrow in Srinagar, another Tiranga Yatra would be held by the social activists, by the civil society and also by the workers or by the members of the Bharatiya Janata Party. So Srinagar looks in a pretty good shape now, all smiles back. People are heaving a sigh of relief, but there is always a sense of caution. And why not? Because history has repeatedly taught us never ever to trust the enemy across the border. And that is why Operation Sindoor has not been called off. It's still on. The borders are still on high alert, our forces are still on high alert, and clear instruction, clear directive from our Prime Minister Narendra Modi that we will go all out. We will go all out to defend our territorial integrity at any cost, and nothing would be accepted, whether it is terrorism or whether it's intrusion from across the border. Lipakshi?
All right, Vishal, great to see streets bustling behind you. In fact, we have Amrit Pal also with us now from Punjab. Well, my second question to you, Ankush, what's the update from Jammu? Life limping back to normal there as well?
Good morning, Lipakshi. The situation is very normal in Jammu, and the life is back on the track. The schools are open now, and excluding the four districts, Jammu, Samba, Rajouri and Poonch. In border areas, people are also resumed their usual activities, and the situation is under the control, but there is still high alert in the border areas, and in urban areas, in city outskirts, the forces, the security has been tightened, but as a part of the country, the Tiranga Yatra is going to be organized in Jammu also, and like rest of the country, we have seen the images from different places that the Tiranga rally is going on, and in Jammu, the Tiranga rally is also going to happen tomorrow by 5 evening, and all the institutes, groups, NGOs, civil society is planning to conduct this Tiranga Yatra tomorrow, and all the preparations are underway. And this is a high time to salute our armed forces and the clear message to deliver to the enemy that we are united, we are one, and any type of terrorism, any kind of terror activities in our land will not be allowed. And if the terrorists are in cross-border areas also, we will eradicate it also. And the people are very enthusiastic here for Tiranga Yatra, and the school children's institutes, NGOs are ready to be the part of this historical movement tomorrow and to salute our armed forces.
All right. Amrit, I would come to you now. What's the situation in Punjab's border areas as people, of course, feel relieved now after easing of tensions?
That's right, easing of tensions, life limping back to normalcy, schools opening up in most places except some villages on the border where the district administration is not taking any chances. Schools have been shut till the 20th of this month, but that depends. That's not for the entire district. Most of the places schools are opening, educational institutions are opening. There is a sense of apprehension, a calm, yes, but a sense of apprehension because people continue to sight drones. The district administration is appealing them to be calm and report it, any drone sighting, report that to the nearest police station. Blackouts, especially in the border districts, continue, though they are voluntary blackouts, like in Gurdaspur, the district administration has asked people to voluntarily switch off lights at 8 p.m. Hoshiarpur, Pathankot, Amritsar, these blackouts continue. They are generally for about 2 hours. 2 to 3 hours, from 8 to about say 11 o'clock or 9 to about midnight. So that's by way of abundant caution that the district administration is exercising to keep people safe. But otherwise, markets are opening up, education institutions are opening up, people are out on the streets, they are going about their daily chores. So life limping back to normalcy.
All right, life limping back to normal out there. We have Lakshay also from Jaisalmer joining us now. Lakshay, with people now resuming normal duties, how is the situation there in Rajasthan?
In Rajasthan as well, the people have returned to normalcy. You can see behind me, I'm currently right here in the city center of Jaisalmer. The shops are open, market is open, there's a free movement of people right here in the Jaisalmer. So Jaisalmer is all ready to welcome its tourists, and the tourist places are welcoming the tourists. So from past few days, the restrictions has been waived off, so new normalcy has returned to the border districts of Rajasthan, including Jaisalmer. right in Jaisalmer, new restrictions and new advisories has been issued. So according to new advisories, the educational institution, including the schools, colleges, universities, whether government and private, are advised to be open. So the educational procedures, the schools are running smoothly right in the border districts of Rajasthan. Currently, the market and the free movement of people can be seen right in Jaisalmer. Earlier, from past few days, the market was shut down, the blackout was observed in Jaisalmer, but currently from last 2 to 3 days, as the situation is quite normal, the administration is keeping an eye on the various things, but right in the Jaisalmer, the things are normal and normalcy has been restored in the Jaisalmer. Following that, the market is open, people are moving freely, as well as in Bardmer. Earlier, the alert was issued in Bardmer, but from past few days, normalcy has also returned back in Bardmer as well, and educational institutes are open in Jodhpur, Bardmer and other border districts of Rajasthan. Currently, as per the latest with the Airport Authority of India, the 32 airports were allowed to open, under which the Bikaner Airport and Jaisalmer Airport, along with Jodhpur Airport, is also included in the list. More importantly, the administration, district administration and police is keeping an eye over the fake news and misinformation. So, even though from past 2 to 3 days the situation are normal, people are going through their normal routine, but still some fake news were tried to circulated over the social media platform and some social media accounts that were operated from the Pakistan. So people are advised, administration is taking regular measures to advise the people to keep an eye and do not circulate any misinformation, any fake news, and prevent themselves and prevent for the people of the border district to have any fake news. Absolutely. More importantly, the Rajasthan is all ready to welcome the Tiranga Yatra across the districts, across the state. Civil societies are preparing well to organize Tiranga Yatra in a solidarity and respect for the tricolor and the armed forces.
All right. Thank you so much, all of you, for all those details. And moving on, Justice B.R. Gavai is sworn in as the 52nd Chief Justice of India. President Draupadi Murmu administered the oath of office to Justice Gavai, who succeeds CJI Sanjeev Khanna. The ceremony was attended by Vice President, Prime Minister, among other dignitaries. The appointment was made by President Murmu under Article 124(2) of the Constitution, and the Ministry of Law and Justice subsequently issued a notification confirming the decision. Well, Justice Gavai served as the senior-most judge of the Supreme Court, was elevated to the Apex Court on May 24, 2019. And India firmly rejected China's latest attempt to rename several locations in Arunachal Pradesh, reiterating that the state remains an integral part of the country. Well, in response to media queries, Ministry of External Affairs spokesperson Randhir Jaiswal said that China has persisted with its vain and preposterous attempts to name places in the Indian state of Arunachal Pradesh. Consistent with our principled position, we reject such attempts categorically. Creative naming will not alter the undeniable reality that Arunachal Pradesh was, is, and will always remain an integral and inalienable part of India. And for more, we have Akshay Dongre joining us. Well, Akshay, India has once again issued a strong rebuttal to China's attempts and reiterated India's stance on the status of the state. In fact, as we heard, the MEA has categorically said that creative naming will not alter the undeniable reality that Arunachal Pradesh is an integral part of India.
Well, absolutely. Our position on this has been consistent with our principal position, and we have rejected any such attempts in the past. And we do it right now as well. It has also happened that when our athletes were going to China from Arunachal, there was a different procedure that was adopted for those athletes. So India had refused to send the athletes to China from Arunachal Pradesh. And as far as if we talk about the integrity of Arunachal with the nation, we can only see in the last few days in the conflict how we have a soldier from Arunachal Pradesh who has also laid his life for the country. The people of Arunachal Pradesh are, as much as part of the country as anywhere, any part of the country, any other part of the country. That remains the same. So as far as these China's preposterous claims are concerned, it's actually laughable. It's absolutely misplaced as far as the Chinese government's agenda is concerned. And while the timing of this fresh attempt by China is also raising eyebrows, but the government of India has made it very, very clear that these kind of attempts and nefarious designs by China have been thwarted in the past as well. They have been absolutely rejected in the past, and they will be continuously rejected in the future as well. So China can go ahead, it can make claims, it can stake claims on anything that it wants in their own imagination, but it doesn't alter the reality one bit on the ground.
Absolutely. As you said, people of Arunachal Pradesh remain as an integral part of India. Also, Akshay, how does China's repeated attempts to renaming of places in Arunachal Pradesh fit into its broader strategy on territorial claims, and how will it be received diplomatically, especially on the global stage? We seem to have lost Akshay right now. Right now, we'll move ahead and take a break right now. We'll be back in a while. Trump rebukes Iran over Tehran's nuclear program, calling it the most destructive force in the Middle East. Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney unveils diverse new cabinet with 28 ministers emphasizing gender parity and global engagement. And Albania's Prime Minister Edi Rama secures fourth term as Socialist Party wins parliamentary elections amid opposition protest.
Geopolitics and trade deals. Economic challenges amid development. Hard work and the path to prosperity. It's the economy, always. Between walkers, money is what money does and says. Supply creates its own demand. Between the bulls pulls and bears tears. When supply chains globalization and India rises to the podium. We'll get you centered with the Economic Brief at 8 p.m. every Thursday on DD India.
Complex issues, hidden agendas, twists and turns, strategic games. We think all dots are linked, we just need to connect them. Join me every week as I connect the dots to unravel hidden designs in statecraft, mysteries, and decode issues that matter to you. Watch Connecting the Dots with me at these times on DD India.
Welcome back. You're watching DD India News. I'm Lipakshi Khurana, and moving on, Union Minister of Information and Broadcasting Ashwini Vaishnaw reiterated his government's zero-tolerance policy on terrorism. He penned an article for English Daily where he underlined India's response to the same, stating that the massacre in Pahalgam was not just an attack on innocent lives, it was an assault on the country's principles. In response, India decided to rewrite the rule book on counter-terrorism. Operation Sindoor is the Narendra Modi government's clearest articulation of a zero-tolerance, no-compromise policy to safeguard national security, the Modi doctrine. Well, the first key pillar of the doctrine is decisive retaliation on India's terms. In other words, any terrorist attack on India will be met with a fitting response. The country will take strict action to uproot terrorism and ensure that perpetrators and their sponsors face the consequences. The second pillar is the zero tolerance for nuclear blackmail. It underlines that India will not succumb to nuclear threats or coercion. The doctrine asserts that any attempt to use nuclear blackmail as a shield for terrorism will be met with precise and decisive action. The third pillar of the doctrine is no distinction between terrorists and their sponsors. India will hold both terrorists and their enablers accountable. The doctrine makes it clear that those who harbor terrorists, finance them, or support terror will face the same consequences as the perpetrators. Well, history will remember India's response to Pahalgam as measured and principled. It will remember our response to terror. Bharat stood tall, spoke with one voice and struck with one force. Operation Sindoor is not the end. It is the beginning of a new era of clarity, courage and our sankalp in tackling terror. And moving on, US President Donald Trump kicked off his trip to the Gulf with an announcement that the United States will lift long-standing sanctions on Syria and a $600 billion commitment from Saudi Arabia to invest in the US. The US agreed to sell Saudi Arabia an arms package worth nearly $142 billion, which called it the largest defense cooperation agreement Washington has ever done. Trump and the Saudi Crown Prince also signed an agreement covering energy, defense, mining and other areas. Trump has sought to strengthen relations with the Saudis to improve regional ties with Israel. The agreement covers deals with more than a dozen US defense companies for areas including air and missile defense, air force and space, maritime security and communications. Trump said he would remove all sanctions against Syria, saying they had served an important function, but it was now time for Syria to move forward.
Likewise, in Syria, which has seen so much misery and death, there is a new government that will hopefully succeed in stabilizing the country and keeping peace. That's what we want to see in Syria. And I'm very pleased to announce that Secretary Marco Rubio will be meeting with the new Syrian foreign minister in Turkey later this week.
While speaking at the investment summit in Riyadh, Trump bashed Iran, calling it the most destructive force in the Middle East. In fact, fresh talks between Iranian and US negotiators to resolve disputes over Tehran's nuclear program ended in Oman on Sunday, with further negotiations planned. Trump said he was willing to strike a new deal with Iran, but only if its leaders changed course. Trump warned that the United States will never allow it to obtain a nuclear weapon.
If you know that, they were a virtually bankrupt country because of what I did. They had no money for terror, they had no money for Hamas or Hezbollah, and take all action required to stop the regime from ever having a nuclear weapon. Iran will never have a nuclear weapon.
Well, the US will cut the de minimis tariff for low-value shipments from China to as low as 30% further de-escalating trade war between US and China. The order published late on Monday offers some relief to big Chinese e-commerce players and follows a weekend deal between Beijing and Washington to unwind for 90 days most of the tit-for-tat tariffs imposed on each other's goods since early of April. While the joint statement following talks in Geneva did not mention the de minimis duties, the order signed by President Donald Trump said levies for those direct-to-consumer postal shipments will be reduced to 54% from 120% for items valued at up to $800. An alternative flat fee of $100 per postal package remains in effect, but a planned June 1st increase to $200 was cancelled. And Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelenskyy expressed that he would join Thursday's Istanbul talks only if Russian President Vladimir Putin attends, aiming for an unconditional 30-day ceasefire. He urged US President Trump to help secure the meeting. DD India Kajal has more in this report. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelenskyy stated that he would participate in the talks in Istanbul on Thursday only if Russian President Vladimir Putin is also present, aiming to agree on an unconditional 30-day ceasefire. He added only Putin could enact such a pause.
If Putin is ready to meet not only the media purpose but in real life, then on the level of leaders, we will do everything to agree on a ceasefire, because I must reach a deal about a ceasefire with him, because he is the only person to decide. Unconditional ceasefire, according to the experience of the past days and months, can be secured by Putin only. If they will not come, if Putin will not come, or if a ceasefire will not be supported by the Russians, by Putin, exactly by him, it means only one thing, that Russia is not ready for any kind of negotiations.
Zelenskyy urged US President Donald Trump to help secure a meeting with Putin. He also cautioned that the United States and European Union should impose strong sanctions if the talks failed to take place. Zelenskyy stressed that he would make every effort to ensure the meeting happens and to secure a ceasefire. The Kremlin has not confirmed whether Putin will travel to Turkey after he himself proposed Russia-Ukraine talks in a weekend Kremlin address. Meanwhile, Trump announced that US Secretary of State Marco Rubio will be in the US delegation at the talks in Istanbul. US wants Russia to agree to a comprehensive 30-day land, air, sea and critical infrastructure ceasefire. French President Emmanuel Macron expressed support for new sanctions against Russia if Moscow does not agree to a ceasefire.
They reject the idea that the ceasefire is unconditional. They want it to be the part of the discussions in Turkey. I will explain why we did all this and where we are. And so, our intentions, in fact, if they confirm the non-compliance, is to impose sanctions again. They are financial services and there are hydrocarbons on which, by doing what we call secondary sanctions, that is, by sanctioning those who resell these things would change.
The planned talks have become the central focus of international peace efforts as leaders and diplomats from around the world look for a breakthrough to end the conflict. Kajal's report, DD India. Well, Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney, who won an election last month, unveiled a new cabinet overall with 24 new faces. The new ministry includes 28 cabinet ministers and 10 secretaries of state and is largely composed of new faces. Well, the cabinet is also supported by 10 secretaries of state who will provide dedicated leadership on key issues and priorities within their minister's portfolio. Carney ensured gender parity and has appointed 14 men and 14 women as full cabinet ministers or secretaries of state. Indian origin Anita Anand has been appointed Canada's new Minister of Foreign Affairs. Anand previously served in roles including Defence Minister. Besides, Brampton MP Maninder Sindhu, also of Indian origin, has been appointed to serve as Carney's International Trade Minister. Francois Philippe Champagne retains his job as finance minister, while Dominic LeBlanc remains Minister of U.S. Trade and Intergovernmental Trade. Following the unveiling of the new cabinet, Carney outlined the government's top priorities, creating new economic and security relationships with the United States.
As our workers and businessmen continue to face unjustified tariffs imposed by the US, my government will fight for Canada to ensure that Canada gets the best deal possible. We will strengthen our relationship with the reliable partners. Canada has what the world needs, and we stand for values the world respects.
Well, you're watching DD India News Hour. Time now for some sports news. Khelo India Youth Games 2025, the 7th edition of the event is underway. The games are being held across multiple cities in Bihar and New Delhi. Maharashtra currently leads the medal tally. They have won 46 gold, 38 silver and 36 bronze medals. Rajasthan is in second place with 19 gold, 9 silver and 14 bronze medals. Haryana is third with 17 gold, 13 silver and 27 bronze medals. Karnataka follows with 14 gold, 22 silver and 11 bronze medals. Khelo India Youth Games follow a team championship format. Medals won by athletes or teams count toward their state or union territories tally. The state or UT with the most gold medals is declared the winner. So far, only 2 states have lifted the Khelo India Youth Games title. Haryana topped the inaugural edition in 2018, then known as the Khelo India School Games. Maharashtra won in 2019 and 2020 before Haryana regained the title in 2022. Maharashtra won back-to-back titles in 2023 and 2024. And Sunderland reached the championship play-off final after a last-minute goal by Dan Ballard. He scored with a header in extra time to make it a 1-1 on the night and 3-2 on aggregate against Coventry City. Efron Mason-Clark had earlier scored in the 76th minute to take the game to the extra time. The match was full of tension at the Stadium of Light. Sunderland will now face Sheffield United at Wembley on Saturday, 24th of May. The winner will earn promotion to the Premier League. Sunderland finished 4th and Coventry 5th in the regular season. Also, Sunderland hopes to return to the top flight after 8 years. Coventry will regret a late missed chance by Haji Wright, who headed wide in stoppage time. And Diana Maradona, daughter of late football legend Diego Maradona, said in court that she believes all the people accused are responsible for her father's death. She made this statement after hearing recordings during the trial that she found very upsetting. The trial began in March in Buenos Aires, more than 4 years after Maradona's death in November 2020 from heart failure shortly after brain surgery. 7 members of his medical team are on trial and an 8th will face a jury in July. They are accused of not giving proper care, but all deny the charges. The trial is expected to take several months.
I reopened many sad things and heard things that I don't deserve to anyone in the world to hear how someone speaks this way about a relative. Honestly, it's very sad. They are all responsible. When you listen to the audios, I don't say it. They do. It was not a serious home hospitalization. And they want to blame us? The way they spoke to each other, I swear, it was horrible.
Well, Nottingham Forest striker Taiwo Awoniyi is in an induced coma after having the first phase of surgery on a serious abdominal injury. The 27-year-old Nigeria international collided with the post in the 88th minute of the 2-2 draw against Leicester at the City Ground as he attempted to get on the end of a cross from Anthony Elenga. Awoniyi had come on as a substitute for Ibrahim Sangare just 5 minutes before. He got treatment on the field and continued playing but was limping in the final minutes. British media reported he was placed in a coma after the first stage of surgery. And the curtains are up on the 78th Cannes Film Festival, one of world cinema's most prestigious events. And the celebration is bigger, bolder and more diverse than ever. Take a look.
The 78th Cannes Film Festival has opened with glitz, power-packed cinema and truly global spirit. This year's edition is truly significant for India, both on and off the screen.
star-studded Cannes Film Festival opening ceremony was attended by hundreds of celebrities, actors and filmmakers from across the world. For this 78th edition, the jury is chaired by French actress Juliette Binoche, who is joined by American star Halle Berry. Making India proud, acclaimed filmmaker Payal Kapadia has joined the feature film jury. At the opening ceremony, Leonardo DiCaprio honored legendary filmmaker Robert De Niro with honorary Palme d'Or. Partir un jour, film by Amelia Bonin, was the opening film of the festival. Legendary filmmaker Quentin Tarantino declared the Cannes Film Festival competition open.
I'm Sophia, I'm an actress and opera singer from Russia. I'm very happy to be here in the center of film. I feel happy to be with another directors, my colleague. So nice here, so in art.
I'm very happy to be here to see very more movie star and see the very big party.
Cannes 2025 has been a stellar global turnout with themes ranging from war and resistance to love, climate and artificial intelligence dominating the lineup. A restored version of Satyajit Ray classic Arunachal Din Ratri is also being showcased, bringing timeless Indian storytelling back to the world stage. Rajasthani film Omlu's international debut at Cannes Film Festival market, Neeraj Ghayan's Homebound competing in Uncertain Regard section, and SRFTI film A Doll Made Up of Clay is the official selection in the prestigious La Cinef section.
With Indian voices on the jury, on the screen and on the red carpet, Cannes 2025 is not just a film festival, it's a moment of recognition for Indian cinema on one of the world's best cinematic stage. With camera person Sumit, this is Jaya Sinha for DD India from Cannes.
Alright, that's all for this edition of DD India News Hour, but let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. For those on the go, you can get all the latest news and updates from India across the world on the DD India mobile app. The app is available on both Android and iOS platforms. Scan the QR code on the screen to download now. Well, we'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I'm Lipakshi Khurana from all of us here in Delhi. Thanks for watching DD India News Hour.